Of modern modes of conveyance, is there one that seems both to support and to upend the mythos of America better than the automobile? It's an overflowing embodiment of ingenuity, independence, and spatial liberation, while simultaneously charging us with material and resource excess, scandalous safety hazards, and environmental imperilment. The convenience and comfort of vehicular transport insist on an overt range of costs and allowances and a subtle spectrum of charms and deceits. Free to find the road, we are constrained to sustain the finding. If we ever valued the gifts and challenges of spontaneity, we had to reform our sense of movement in order to make use of the highway. With a vast and unruly topography beneath its tires, the automobile subjugated the country's vastness and in so doing soldered pathways and passages. In the 50s, the highway was an emblem of conformity. The circuits were there to follow and to obey. This was the disciplining of errant directives. By the 90s, rebellion was figured as a fantasy of the off-road. The sport utility vehicle became a euphemism for class status on city streets, not an instrument for creative liberation or elective impulses in the wilderness. Traversing pavement might have become almost pedestrian. Indeed, the history of the automobile in America forms an odd repetition. If we were once encumbered by vehicle dimensions, we stipulated a next generation of the miniaturized, say something more ably scaled to the human. By refraction off Moore's law, we might have suspected that every technology would soon exchange itself for the smaller, cheaper, and more efficient. The automobile swerve, then, was to recapture and refigure the anachronisms of space, cost, and performance that defined the 15-foot sedan and the superhighway, and at that by multiplied numbers. And because of prominence and habits of use, the car has contoured the shape of architecture, infrastructure, recreation, temporal association, and the patterns of daily routine. To live without a car in America means to miss this flow and order. Yet to live without a car in America still requires a knowledge and a heeding of its forms and dictates. What can be made of an invitation to walk across a city? Here in America, where oceans rub the shores away, the automobile shores the getaway. Crankshaft, rack and pinion, camshaft, cylinder head. The blank opinion, the common dread. A marked path to follow a founded road, where pavement's melting ground subsumes ancient lines of stone. The desire met for declared destinations, frustrated by the force of withdrawal, shifting the burden of life's weight to a solemn indifference of massive gait. Time and temperature and temperament settle nothing for aspiring traversal. Awaiting change endlessly. There in the city's heart, spirals of endlessness never end, never inhibit pressed pedals. Conversation between lanes comes forth in unwired invisibility, touchless. Meanwhile, 3,000 pounds of steel, glass, and rubber grind the road. The unmediated human voice, now an artifact of personal history. The snap of pea from vine's grasp, the pluck of plum from tree's hand, sojourned for the reach to market windows and the package of packages. Egress to the meadows and marshes, downtowns and deserts of undefined retreat, contented to throated sirens, undulating surfaces, and effusive terrestrial decay. Shelters upon the counterpoint of abuse and denial. What spoils of preciousness, fragile and formidable, lures, ever intermittent. Use without waste, or siphon without depletion. Our riddles come with bags of air, an anti-lock upon the brain. Nostalgia for a future that never was. A next hour permuted. Machines for hands, speed for legs. Sick with lust for isolated escape. Charmed by sun's arc and forced by errand's press. Wheels so fast, steered to map the object. Lost to direction, to detection, to the question of getting lost and finding out.